This person is in his routine, but his mind is far away. He wakes up thinking of you, and the first thing he does is pick up his cell phone, open your messages, and stay there, standing, looking at what he wrote and erased. What he doesn't send weighs on his heart because every draft is a veiled request for forgiveness. While you sleep, he admits, even if silently, that guilt consumes him. He said he was busy. He lied. What he really was afraid to face the truth, afraid of the vulnerability you brought to the surface. He feels that you got closer to him than anyone else ever did, and that terrifies him. While you are trying to make life happen, he's there struggling between pride and the reality of your absence. And you know this because you felt the desperation in the subtext of his messages. You noticed when he started to pull away, when the texts stopped being frequent. You felt when he began to write, "How are you?" only to delete it before sending. You're not imagining it. He is lost in his own labyrinth of emotions. The brutal truth is that he misses you. He wants to send those messages not to ask how you are, but to apologize, to confess that he regrets it. But the fragility is much greater than he can handle. Each day he tries to convince himself that he can move on, but every night the thought of you haunts the silence of his house. Meanwhile, you continue with your life, laughing and getting involved with other things. But part of you still waits for a move from him. You know he cares, that he thinks of you while trying to forget, but he is there, hiding behind fear, clinging to a false reality where it's not necessary to do anything. The image he has built in his head is of a perfect relationship with you, and he designs it in so many ways. He imagines how it would be to tell his friends. Imagine introducing you to everyone and saying, "It's this person." But none of that happens. He is paralyzed because the fear of truly losing you becomes greater than the desire to have you close. And you are tired of waiting for him to take the initiative. You know that you should have already forgotten, but you can't. He remains a restless spirit in your life, even though you don't want this anymore. You feel that he continues there, but now he is an echo. The feelings have transformed into something heavy that neither of you talks about. The truth is that he hides how much he cares. He feels like a fraud for not having the courage. He wants to tell you that you were the only one who stood by his side when the world collapsed. But what does he do? He writes messages and deletes them, as if dispatching this apology is as easy as his daily routine. Meanwhile, you suffer in silence. You observe him on social media, noticing that he drifts away from what truly matters. He still lingers in your life, watching from a distance but not approaching. He deprives himself of confronting his fears and doubts. Each day, he places a new barrier between you two, and you have already noticed that with every deleted text, with every break in communication, the trust between you dissolves. His absence hurts more than any unsent message. And the truth is that he knows he should do more. He knows that at least one sincere conversation could change everything between you two. But that courage seems like a distant dream. Now, as you read this, you understand that he continues there, trapped in this bubble of insecurities and regrets. He still wants you, but the doubt of not being enough paralyzes him. He is on the verge of an emotional collapse, but still does not move. What he doesn't have the courage to send screams inside him. This person is every day typing sentences that never get sent. He opens the messaging app, writes something that reflects what you feel, but in the end, erase everything. While you sleep, that person is fighting against their own fears, against the vulnerability that you awakened in them. They feel their heart, weighing down with each draft that turns into nothing, an apology that never materializes. They said they needed space, but the truth is, they need courage. Courage to face their own fragility, to admit that you are the only one that makes sense in the chaos that is their life. They know they were wrong, but they refuse to admit it. That "I'm not the guy for this right now" was just an excuse to avoid facing what you provoke in them. You know this because you can feel their absence in every empty space that could be filled by them. You felt it when, amidst laughter and conversations with friends, they weren't there. They were thinking of you, but pretended not to. You're not imagining it. Every time they disappear from the map, it's because they're hiding from their feelings. They try to deceive themselves being with others, but deep down, no one compares. They are trapped in a cycle of regret, struggling between what they want and what they fear. They may be laughing with friends, but in the silence, the weight of your absence suffocates them. The brutal truth is that they are afraid to open their heart and show their vulnerability, afraid to take a step forward and face your rejection of their sincerity. They hide this side of them because exposing themselves is risky. Meanwhile, you are there, waiting for a sign, a message that may never come. You feel that. They could do something at any moment, but their inertia and resistance to change speak louder. Meanwhile, you continue living your life, but their presence is constant. You know, it could be different, but they have the power to change it and do nothing. You observe their social media, notice how they are in everything that isn't you, and yet you continue, without response. It is an absurd situation, full of unfulfilled promises and internal dialogues that never materialize. What he doesn't have the courage to send screams inside him. This person is awake at 3 a.m. with messages open on the phone screen. He writes and erases, an endless dance of unsent drafts. He feels he needs forgiveness, but never dares to send anything that truly expresses what he feels. While you sleep, this person tortures himself with words that will never come to life. He knows he should have spoken, but he can't. He said he needed space, but the truth is he needs courage. And you know this because you've noticed the pattern in the way he acts. Remember the times when you were together, and the conversation flowed, but when it was time to take things seriously, he retreated. You felt it. You felt his hesitation, and the way the words never leave his mouth, as if an invisible barrier keeps him trapped. You're not imagining it. What this person truly feels is a mix of regret and fear. He knows he has lost an incredible opportunity. What stops him from opening up is the uncertainty about how you would react. He feels vulnerable, as if he is exposing a part of himself that no one has ever seen. In his head, the internal dialogue screams that you might not want to receive it, and so he erases the messages. Meanwhile, you are here, waiting for something, a sign, a word, any move. You notice and feel his absence. Life unfolds in front of you, but for some reason you are still stuck there, waiting for a return that seems not to come. You wonder how many times he looked at the phone, imagining a scenario where you respond enthusiastically, but still, he does nothing. The brutal truth is that he hides behind pride, contradicting everything he has said about move forward. He continues to live in the world of feelings he doesn't risk showing. He lives in a repetitive cycle, not knowing how to escape it. You are etched in his memory, and he compares himself to others, but it is always you who wins. He tries to move on, but he can't. And you? Meanwhile, you continue feeling that something is incomplete. You see his messages as clear as water, but at the same time you feel the distance as a weight. In every draft he creates, you hear the echo of his desire to apologize and open up, but the action never comes. You come across his social media without a way to understand why he hasn't done something, and you feel that constant unease that something is wrong. This is how things are. The fact is, both of you are aware of it. You knew that he thinks of you and feels guilty, but the courage never emerged to change this situation. He is there, paralyzed, while you wait in that limbo of unreciprocated feelings. Time passes, and he knows he is letting the opportunity slip away. What he lacks the courage to send screams within him. He wakes up every day with you in his thoughts. It is a reality he cannot escape. With every message he writes and deletes, this person is begging for forgiveness, even if implicitly. You may not see it, but it is the truth he cannot face. While you sleep, he is there scrolling through his phone, rereading your conversations. He clicks on your photos, observes every detail, but does not have the courage to send a single message. He says he needs space, but the truth is, he needs courage. Courage to say that it is you whom he really wants. You felt it, right? That anguish that someone is thinking about you but says nothing. It's real. He misses you every moment, but he prefers to remain silent. This person is trapped in this cycle of regret and insecurity. He said he was focusing on himself, but in reality he is dying of fear. Fear of opening his heart and being rejected. Fear that you are no longer interested. You're not imagining it. His pain is palpable. This person, with all his bravado, is hiding a deep vulnerability. He feels that he is not enough for you. He sees how you shine and somehow believes that he does not deserve to be by your side. He made poor choices. Meanwhile, you question why he disappeared. You are waiting for a sign, something that indicates he cares, and he does care. He just can't act. He is consumed by guilt. Every message he starts and deletes is a reminder of what he left behind. This person has seen himself talking to you, sharing laughs, rebuilding what was broken. But what he hides is that in each of these imagined situations, he also feels that you might simply not want him anymore. That's why he takes no action. Meanwhile, you continue your life, move forward, but with a part of you still waiting for him. You realize that time is passing, and doubt begins to transform into pain. Every passing day is another day that he does not show up, and honestly, it hurts. You know the feelings are real, but the uncertainty consumes your hope. And he knows he messed up. He knows he was unfair to you, that he left you without answers and plunged into silence, but he does not know how to come back. The truth is that he still loves you, but this love is surrounded by fears and insecurities that prevent him from being honest with you. His life has become an endless cycle. He may go out with other people, but nothing compares to you. He tries to convince himself that he is okay, but deep down, he knows he is not. Every laugh he gives, every moment of joy is just a disguise for the pain, what he feels inside. He is trapped by this pride that life cannot fulfill. And you keep waiting. You still believe that he might have the courage, that he might finally open up and speak. But the truth is, while you wait, life happens. And this person will continue in this dilemma, surrounded by regrets, not knowing how to regain what was lost, what he is not brave enough to send screams inside him. This person is sending you invisible messages every day. He opens his phone, writes drafts that will never be sent, always with an implicit touch of forgiveness. While you sleep, this person reflects on everything that was said and unsaid, struggling between the desire to connect and the fear of exposing himself. He feels that every deleted message is a silent scream of apology. Even then, he does not have the courage to press the send button. He said he needed space. He lied. What he really needs is a push, a moment of clarity in which he can be vulnerable with you. Deep down, he feels that each word stuck in his throat is a weight he carries. And you know this because at some point you noticed that the communication between you was never normal. You realized that he talked about everything and nothing at the same time. You felt it when he hesitated. That moment when he looked into your eyes and then looked away, as if he was trying to find an exit from the conversation that never ended. He knows you noticed. You are not imagining it. It is painfully real. He fears that if he opens his heart, you will see him as he really is. Imperfect, confused, and above all vulnerable. This person really misses you, but he does not know how to deal with this pain. While he pretends that everything is fine, the truth is he is trapped in a web of his own lies. He is living a vicious cycle of searching for distraction, seeking occupations that will never fill the void you left. He goes out, laughs with others, but when night falls, he's back to the same place, thinking about what could have been. Meanwhile, you wonder if he still thinks about you. The answer is a resounding yes, but that doesn't change the cruel reality. He is more lost than ever. He has written so many messages that have gotten lost among drafts. He feels incapable of putting into words what he really feels, and the fear of rejection paralyzes him. He has imagined 1,000 scenarios where you reunite, but all that idealism is fed by the fear of taking action. The truth he hides is that, even though he has tried to move on, he cannot find anyone who compares to what you represent. He knows you are unique, and that terrifies him. He feels unfair to you because he never gave you the chance you truly deserved. Meanwhile, you are there in your own battle, trying to understand what happened and why he doesn't show up. You keep looking at your phone, waiting for a message that may never come. Time is passing, and the connection that was once so intense seems to fade before your eyes. But you still wonder, is he thinking about me? The truth is that he is trapped in a cycle of regret and fear. He knows what he feels for you is real, but the boundary he imposed on himself holds him back, and you already knew that.